Welcome back to our van plan and part 2 of our upper cabinet build. In this video we'll be applying the final paint finish to the cabinets. We'll be fitting some inside shelves and then the doors and then getting them up in the van. The weather in the UK has been pretty rubbish for the past month or so. It's been really cold and damp. So working on these at home has been a real challenge. For the finished coat I wanted some better environment really, so I can maximise how good it looks and how it dries and all of that. So luckily I've got a friend who has just set up a campervan conversion company, Ultravans. Check it out, the link in the description below. But he's got this amazing workshop just down the road, so I'm lucky enough to be able to squeeze Carlo into the side here. And I'll be working here for a couple of days on these upper cabinets. So let's get started with a recap of where we're up to. In part 1 we showed you how we constructed our upper cabinets from 1x2 pine frame and then 12 and 18mm poplar ply. This is really lightweight and gives a nice clean finish. We cut and prepared the hinges on our cupboard doors and made sure everything was exactly how we wanted it. And then we remembered we forgot to cut some holes in our nice end pieces. And the other thing I forgot to take into account was the fact that on this end, which is facing the bed, we've got the cab light that I want to kind of basically cut and fit into there, so that can still work for emergency lighting. And there's also a light switch I want to put in here as well, so I need to just cut the holes for that. Luckily they'll be hidden by the overlay here and on the light switch, so I don't need to be too neat, but I'm going to do that now, work out where they go, and then we can do the filling. The next step in the preparation before we can apply the finished coat is to fill the wood and then prime it. So for the filling, there's obviously the ply is going to have some scrapes and scuffs in it. Some of the laminate, you'll get some hollows where you cut it or cut through the ply, so I need to fill those. And also between where the frame joins onto the plywood, there's some kind of gaps along there. So I've decided to use this Ronseal high performance wood filler. It's a 2-part filler with the main filler in here, and you get this little hardener bit, so it's like a golf ball sized bit of this to a pea sized bit of that. Haven't really used it before, but it seemed like a good one. It's kind of tough wood repairs, interior, exterior, flexible, won't shrink or crack, so we'll give that a go. And then for the priming the wood, I'm going to use this Zinser 123, which I used on the floor and other bits and pieces in the van, mainly because I've got a big tin of it left, but we'll do 2 coats of that, sanding in between each one before we then are ready to do the final coat. So we'll crack on first of all with the wood filling. So I've done tons of research on the paint for the final finish on our upper cabinets and all our furniture in the van, as we'll be painting those ourselves. I want a really good finish if possible, because I know what I'm like. I'll be looking at it and working out whether you can see any inconsistencies or anything like that. So yeah, there's so much out there. There's furniture paint, there's chalk based furniture paint, there's normal emulsion. People use all sorts of different things. In the end, I went for Valspar wood and metal blends V700, which is eggshell from B&Q. Had lots of good reviews on that, or lots of good feedback, and people saying it's really gives it a nice consistent finish, so we're going to give that a go. And then I bought this 2 roller set, so this, what's this called? Mohair roller for varnish and gloss to achieve a smooth finish if possible, and then this medium pole microfiber roller as well, both from B&Q, hoping that they will, again, with a light coat of paint, give us a nice consistent finish as it dries. So yeah, I'm kind of a bit daunted about this bit because, like I said, I want it to look as good as possible and as consistent as possible, but we're going to give it a go, and then we'll see how we get on. Going to be sanding between each coat as well with 400 grit sandpaper to just keep it nice and smooth and try and remove any orange peel effect, which from what I've seen can be a problem, but we'll see how we go. It's an eggshell finish as well, so it's more matte than gloss, so hopefully that will cover up some of the any inconsistencies, but yeah, here we go. So first coat done on these, and they're looking pretty good actually. Hard to tell here actually, but I'll get the light. Don't know if you can see that. But yeah, quite a nice finish. I mean, it's not as perfect as I want, but I think it'll be fine once they're on the walls. Annoyingly here, I don't know if you can see, again, on the bottom piece there, the grain of that plywood is a bit more visible than I'd like, but hopefully a second coat will sort that one out. And then down here, the cupboard doors, again, nice consistent finish. It is good paint actually to work with, goes on well. Haven't used hardly any, got 2.5 litres, but I think a litre would have done. But anyway, we'll just double check this, a little bit of light sanding once it's fully dry, and then do coat number 2. So I've cut these shelves out of 12mm ply. The small cupboard over the kitchen is going to have a shelf on the left hand cupboard only, and then the right hand side we can have taller stuff in there, and then the rear cupboard, which will be above the bed, which will be all of our clothes and stuff, that's going to have a shelf each side. So I've cut it out of the 12mm ply here, notched out the bits of the frame so it can sit and face, line up with the face of the cupboard, and then I'm using these carpet tiles just from B&Q. Pretty good actually, to kind of create a nice finish for the shelf, also stop things sliding around and making a noise, and just, yeah, giving it a nice finish there. So I've cut them to shape, as you can see here. I'm going to spray glue them on to the shelves and also the base of the cupboards as well, to create the nice finish, and I'll do that in a minute, and then we can fit these into the cupboards. Now the cupboards need to go on the wall before I can put these in place, because I need to get the drill in there and to attach them, so I just need to have a think about the best way to actually attach these, get them in and be able to manipulate them inside, because at the moment they only slide in, because of the width of the cupboard inside rather than the frame, they only slide in from the back. So a bit of a puzzle there to solve, but that's the next thing to do. For the cupboard over the kitchen, I've got the 2 downlighters to go in. So I've got these are the same ones as we use in the roof. I'm going to run the cable to the back of the cupboard, and then it can go up the wall at the back. So it needs to go in that way. That. And you can see on the inside, so the wire is going to go down to the back of the cupboard, and then connect on from there, and then I'm going to use the carpet tiles to go over the top of this, and because this is really flat wire, it shouldn't, you won't even notice it. I bought these black door handles from Amazon, which look really nice on the cupboards. So they need to be screwed, hole drill through and then screwed from behind to hold them in place. So obviously I want to make sure that's in a consistent place on all 4 of the doors. So what I've done is on this bit of scrap wood I've drilled holes so they're level exactly where I need them to be, test fitted them so the screws go through and this all lines up okay. And then what I'm hoping to do, without ruining the paint finish here, is to basically center this, clamp it in place, and then use this as the guide to drill through, and then fit the handles so they're in a consistent point on all of the cupboard doors. Wasn't too bad, to be honest. The doors are a bit of a pain. They are aligned actually okay when you look square on. If you can see there, the right hand one, there's the gap in the middle is a little bit too big, so the right hand one overlaps down here a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. But they open fine. The soft close hinges. So yeah, just use lots of fixings, screws along the top, on the back and along the top there, and then into the back here. I don't know if you can see that. I'll use little L brackets just at the back there on that bit of wood, just to bring the bottom of the cupboard back up onto that. Just need to finish some wiring now. So I've got a USB charger over here. The main light switch will go there. Refitted the van light there, and so I just need to tidy it up and then think about finishing the back of it with some carpet, or maybe some of the carpet tiles if I've got some left. But overall that's good for day 2 in the workshop. Tomorrow fit the big one along here, yeah, then they're done. But I'm really pleased with it so far, really pleased with the paint finish. Again, I don't know if you can really see that, but the quality's really good, and you can tell it's homemade a little bit, but it's not actually that bad. And in fact the most perfections are in the ply, unfortunately, after all that. But no, really pleased. Now we've got the first cabinet up in the van, it's time to work on the second one, which is a bit bigger. This one I haven't even done anything with the doors yet, so the next stage is to fit the hinges into the doors and then line them up and fit them on here. I might do that actually outside before we put it in the van, because I think it'll be a bit easier to work on, and then I can put the shelves in and fix them into place as well. So that's the first task before we get this in the van. got the second cupboard in, which wasn't too bad. Got the doors fitted as well, so it's a bit of a mess in there at the moment, but it's fitted, screwed all the way along the top batten up into the roof here, and I just need to fit. Got these smaller battens just to go along the back there, just so we can attach the bottom of the cupboard back up in and against the wall. The doors are good though, they're nice and aligned, pleased with those. So yeah, just got to put in the socket here for the light switches on this side, same on the other side, wire up the USB charger, and then work out what we're going to do to finish the back of the cupboards here, then we can put the shelves in. And we're done with the upper cabinets, so not long to go now. The finishing touches to the cupboards were to install some latches so that the cupboards stayed shut when we're on the move. We also installed gas struts so that when you open the cupboards they stay open, allow us to get in and out easily without having to balance them on our heads. We cut holes and installed light switches, the Truma controller, a USB socket and the original cargo light into the side, the end pieces of the upper cabinets. Inside the cupboards then we put some shelves in the cupboards we wanted to have shelves in, and then used carpeted 9mm ply to trim the interior to make it all look nice and tidy inside. We've also included a 240 volt socket in the top of the front cupboard so we can charge stuff up out of sight if we need to. So yeah, that brings us to the end of our upper cabinet build video. Hope you found it useful. We're really pleased with them. We think the white paint makes the van look really nice and light inside, and the Valspar V700 wood and metal paint, really recommend it. It goes on really nicely, nice finish, and looks fairly tough and hard wearing as well. But yeah, we've got plenty of space now. We just need to work out what we're going to put in each of the cupboards. But yeah, hope you found this useful. There's a multitude of different ways of building these things. We kind of made it up as we go along, but I think we've done a good job and they're certainly sturdy. If you have enjoyed the video, please consider giving us the thumbs up and subscribing to the channel for all the latest updates from us. Next videos are the kitchen, then the plumbing and electrics as well. And we're coming very much to the end of the build now, which is great. So we'll then be able to do a nice van tour as well for you guys. Over on Instagram at Our Van Plan is all the latest of where we're up to in real time, and we'll see you on the next video.